Hello and welcome back to Alpha Tauri. We're here for Yuki Tsunoda's home race at Suzuka, Japan. One of the more iconic circuits on the track with this figure 8 format. And it's a good opportunity for me to talk about what's going to happen in next season's races. Because the Japanese Grand Prix is probably the one that has the most drastic change of all, in the sense that it moves from the end of the season to, I believe, race 4. It's next to Australia, I think it's after Australia, so race 4. I will be using the program that allows you to change the race orders. Now, I'm not going to obviously remove, and you can't add circuits in, but I am going to change the order of them to match next season's order. Obviously, we can't do anything about the Chinese Grand Prix, which I think is scheduled to be on the calendar next year. But for the sake of everything else, I'll put them in the order that they are in real life. Now, obviously, the weekend dates, I presume, stay the same. So there might be discrepancies in that regard, but we will at least be doing the Grand Prix in the order that they are going to be on the calendar next year. Now, we don't know which weekends are going to be sprint weekends, and we don't know which weekends are going to be ATA weekends, whether or not that's going to be a thing, or if it's going to be a thing across the board next year. I don't know how well received it's been as such. So we will be making our estimations on those fronts in terms of sprints and ATA weekends. Now, I believe it's basically set in that we're going to be doing 6 sprint weekends a year going forward. So we will pick 6 tracks to do those on. We're not going to cheese that and have less of them, because ultimately they do add to the race wear rather than practice wear, of course, because you lose practice session and you add an extra sort of race in it. So you kind of have to have slightly more race ready components. And we've still got 3 remaining. Lusail, Austin, Texas, and Sao Paulo are all sprint weekends coming up very soon. In fact, 2 to finish off this week, back to back. So that's the plan, essentially. There's no further news in terms of AlphaTauri news, unfortunately. So that is that. I will see you for qualifying, because this isn't a sprint weekend. So, a lot of people have penalties. These are just pre-arranged penalties. They're not race ones. Ignore these with being super conservative in practice right at the moment. So, even so, Alexander Albon destroyed his car in practice too. I didn't see the replay. I don't know what happened, but clearly it was front end, so I'm guessing it's the hairpin. Bottas came off and destroyed his rear end at one point, so wasn't that, I don't think. And there was also a red flag in practice 3 for seemingly no reason. Yuki doesn't have car parts knowledge because of a new suspension. Alex does have car parts knowledge because we only had 2 suspensions and then Alex broke one of them. So he's on the old spec. I'm seriously debating a new ERS now. Everyone else has got penalties. I think the 2 gearboxes will be fine, but I think the ERS was necessary for Alex. The new suspension shouldn't be too much of a difference, but I am sending Yuki out first just in case it is. So qualifying 1, just do the 2-lap method first. Get that on the board. The Yuki's got traffic there. I'm not sure they did well there. It looks like the McLarens are struggling here. De Vries has gone 6/10 faster than Sargent, so either he's got car pieces that Sargent doesn't have, or there's something more to that. And it's a little weird we've gone from contending with Gasly, Hamilton, Hasses, frankly, to being 2 to 3 tenths off them. Probably like sub 2 minutes 30 for the manual version of this. I should also mention, whilst we're sort of gearing up for this... Ooh, that's an awkward situation for Alex. He's got past them. It's all good. The Hasses were fighting each other already. Just had to pay attention to where Yuki was as well. But I should also mention, we did have a side pod in development. Now, I did develop that side pod, not realizing we had a new side pod already coming in, or was still being manufactured. So it turned out not to be as good as I thought it was going to be. It was basically running its bonuses off the previous version. Well, it always runs it off the baseline, and the one we were bringing in, I'd done more with. It looks like Alex is going to catch a vehicle in a really poor spot. It is a Mercedes who is getting out of the way, and Alex isn't driving fast enough to get past them. Oh, he has. He has done a faster first sector, which makes me feel a little bit safer. The only people who have done the checker flag are now Bottas behind, Ocon ahead. That is Max Verstappen, who came out for a second time for some reason. I feel like early in the season, those people who were definitely safe didn't come out again, but seemingly not. Both drivers faster first sector, Alex slower middle sector. Might be because of that traffic. I wonder if Yuki got held up both times. But then again, Albon hasn't really gained much there. That's Sargent joining De Vries, so he was off the pace. We need something from both drivers here. That first sector, hopefully, important. Alex stays 16th. That is terrible. Russell stays 14th. That's also terrible from him. We can't put anyone out, but Yuki goes nowhere. Maybe we're just not good here. Not that it really matters too much because everyone's got penalties, so Yuki's going to start like 5th regardless. Also, I don't know why it's so gloomy here. I know it's cloudy on track, but also the lines. There's something going on with the lines here. I don't know what it is. The tyre push thing here probably isn't that beneficial as such. Having the tyres warm is probably quite helpful, but having the momentum up which they don't tend to have. Probably isn't as helpful because you obviously haven't built that much momentum up anyway, because there's a chicane just directly before it. So the overall speeding across the line isn't going to make a huge difference like it would in Spain or Bahrain. But having the tyres warm for that main straight might be useful on the immediate S section afterwards. It's probably where the benefit of having the warm tyres comes in. I've gone out and really used softs here. Because you're not going to have built up much speed by the time you get to the start-finish line. And Yuki Tsunoda just caught a Red Bull in the worst place possible. Good work, everyone. And similarly catches an Aston Martin. Not quite. Okay, we're fine. And you just get overheated by the start-finish line anyway. So that is pretty helpful. Bring that all off again so you can actually get back. 2 flying laps here with the ERS on might not be helpful because you saw he was at 20% actually when he finished that lap because that's because of ERS wear. So actually maybe the 2 flying lap thing is not going to work here. But Yuki goes a lot closer to sight. He's faster than Alonso this time. I don't know why we struggled so badly. Well, he ends up 10th, but I'm not expecting him to stay there. Alonso probably coming through. I think Russell's still using his yellow flag. Broken car. I'm actually going to send Yuki out not too late here. I'm also not using the perfect tyres again because I don't think he's going to get through. I figured that would get him in a sweet spot. He's got past Sargent, he's got past Gasly on the road. That was what I was aiming for. So he's going to take the chicane. I've put everything up. He's got to find 1/100th to get past Magnussen here. I presume some people are flying lap. Magnussen's flying lap right now. De Vries and Alonso out laps. Russell's on an in lap. He's done. Sargent on a flying lap. Hamilton and Hülkenberg on out laps too. They're kind of important as things stand because they're not too much further forward. Gasly's safe at this point, I'd say. So Russell's damaged vehicle is only good enough for 12th. I assume if I just interrupt this lap, he's just not replaced things yet. Oh, he's replaced the gearbox, but not replaced the engine or the ERS. And the engine's obviously the biggest one of that lot. So this is why you tend to do better in the second half of seasons than the first half of seasons, by the way, is because the AI don't replace their engine parts until they're absolutely necessary. Whereas you tend to, preemptively strike on that front and get them in advance, so you're always on good parts. Sometimes it kind of counterbalances by the fact that they continue to do part research and build new parts for the end of the season, and you don't, because you switch to research towards the end, typically, for financial reasons and cost cap reasons, but the AI just keep going. So Russell and Ocon already, we said they were done. I haven't actually checked his intervals. Faster first, worst middle. Interesting. But you can see there, look, he's down to 20%. Ooh, he goes 8th. He finds not just 1/100th, but 2/10ths, I think, roughly. Hülkenberg and Magnussen yet to cross the line. Sargent does improve, I think, but only stays 15th. It's Alonso that we kind of care about. He's miles off finishing just yet. Hamilton's about to cross the line, but he's irrelevant because he's ahead of us anyway. I wasn't really expecting to get into Q3 here. All right, Alonso's coming across now. He goes 4th. Right, that's acceptable. Ocon's definitely out. Sainz or Leclerc, that was. One of the Hasses has just crossed the line. Hülkenberg stays 10. His teammate... We're going to have one Haas in and one Haas out. Which way around is about to be decided. But he's guaranteed through, Yuki. And Magnussen wasn't on the flying lap at that point. So it's Hülkenberg in, Magnussen out. So he squeaked through to Q3. Found 3/10ths between Q1 and Q2. That's crazy. It's not going to be a great first lap. It's a 1:28.9 on used tyres, actually. Which is still faster than his used tyre lap last time. Which was 1:29 flat. So just marginally faster. And he did get stuck on Hamilton. He puts him in 10th for the time being. But who's got penalties out of this lot? Perez, Hülkenberg, Alonso, Carlos Sainz, Leclerc. So 5 people have penalties, depending on how severe they are. Yuki could genuinely be no worse than 5th, depending on how severe they are. Yuki crucially came out ahead of Hülkenberg there, and everyone else is on a flying lap. So Yuki will stay ahead of those flying lap people as he hits the chicane, and it's basically nighttime. What the hell? I know this is an issue in real life, but coming up to turn 1 now, I think? Bloody hell. Can't see a damn thing. He's got no interruptions on this lap, which is nice. The only person doing a flying lap is Hülkenberg behind, and he's only just crossed the line. He might catch the Ferrari on his in-lap. I think the Red Bull ahead of him should be fine. But coming up to the dangerous hairpin, which claimed so many lives last year, the number of crashes of this hairpin last year was insane. I genuinely cannot see anything there. Wow. I think they simulated sunset a little too well there. Christ. A cloudy sunset. It's orange and it's dark. I can't see anything. Verstappen crosses the line. In fact, no, actually, they were on flying laps, Verstappen and the Ferrari behind. So, first one to take the checkered flag. Everyone's done their lap, it's worth saying, apart from Hülkenberg. So, Leclerc was the last one to have not done their flying lap, and he's set himself 3rd then. Hülkenberg's caught Gasly, I think that is, on his flying lap. So, he might have that problem. I have no idea what happened in Yuki Tsunoda's middle section, 37.6, but I don't know if it's better or worse. That might be identical. This is why it's not come up as better or worse. He finds a fraction. It's not... Bear in mind, those were brand new tyres versus 80% tyres, and he's found 3/100ths. It's not even as fast as his Q2 time, but then again, Hülkenberg's gone faster still, so I think Yuki would have been 9th regardless. Oh, Perez is still on a flying lap here, apparently. I don't know how he's managed to get that in. Oh, so Yuki does start 10th, after all. I like the fact he does register the fact that while some people haven't taken the checkered flag, they have done their lap time there. Yeah, he was slower, weirdly. Yuki's best time still was only good enough for 10th, so can't be too mad. Clear skies today, so we should be able to see things. There's a 5-place penalty, and he starts still 14th. Qualifies 16th, takes a 5-place penalty, still 14th. So, strategies here. 2-stop is 1:22.04 standard. Should be the same in reverse, and a 1-stop is apparently faster. Okay, I genuinely feel like reversing it on Alexander Albon, because if there's any incidents, he can react to them. Like if there's an incident in this period here, he can switch to medium to go to the end. Whereas Yuki is in the prime position of 5th, as predicted, so all those penalties were severe enough to put them behind Yuki Tsunoda, even those ones a little bit higher up. It's annoying because he does have 2 soft tyres, but I don't think I'll ever get used to the fact that they put these where they have. Also, I don't know why he's saying... Oh, he does only have 1 fresh set of softs. I just remembered. Yeah. I think the best we could do with 2 sets of softs is still just as fast as the 1-stop, so realistically. So we'll stick with the 1-stop. We'll go with Yuki on that one. Incidents here, kind of likely, but we'll just go 1 lap under and still push the field beyond that. I think it's probably the sensible thing to do there. Obviously, off the line, we slam things, and then we try to recover those tyres later on.
Get ready. It's the Japanese Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
I think that might be Valtteri Bottas on fire in the background there, sparking away because he was the one who crashed in practice. But watching Alexander Albon, who starts 14th, now 13th already, maybe even 12th, as he's on the inside of Nick de Vries on hard tyres. Nick de Vries is on medium, so this might be a little bit difficult to stick. We did get Piastri straight away. So it was actually Verstappen from Stroll, from Hamilton, from Gasly, from Tsunoda. They were the 5 people without penalties in that top 10. Perez goes 6th, Sainz goes 7th, Leclerc 8th. I don't know, obviously the severity of penalties. Magnussen's clearly enough to go to the back of the grid. Alonso bad enough to go to 17th. Zhou and Ocon with penalties as well. So that might be just by virtue of qualifying in that order a little bit. Bottas and Zhou both with penalties, I believe, to take them behind the McLarens who they out-qualified originally. But Albon stays 13th. Yuki Tsunoda. I wonder if a medium hard would have been more sensible and then actually gone like properly aggressive on it. Because we can react accordingly with Albon, who's doing the reverse here. But we could always switch Yuki to a 2-stopper if we think that pace is going to be more beneficial. Weirdly, in the race, he's got 50% ERS after a lap when he didn't in qualifying. Don't quite understand that. We'll come back though. Lap 1, everyone got through unscathed, weirdly. I mean, Japan's obviously a danger magnet with that hairpin in particular. I feel like Tsunoda's in a train here. Yeah, Gasly's not doing too well. The only problem for Yuki Tsunoda is that Perez and Sainz immediately behind him. Russell should be helpful holding up Leclerc a little bit, because the important thing is we get Yuki Tsunoda some fastest sectors. And if he can clear Gasly, that will get his confidence up. The only problem is there's 1 DRS zone and it's the main straight, so we won't get that till the end of next lap. So we kind of have to be a little bit more canny with the ERS here. Is he having a go there? No, not quite. I assume every driver's slammed their tyres off the line there. Verstappen's okay, but he's also leading by a mile already, so he doesn't really need to push. Meanwhile, Albon now struggling to keep hold of De Vries a little bit, and Yuki Tsunoda now somehow struggling to keep hold of Gasly, who's on medium tyres, let's not forget. He's on a worse compounder tyre. He's also probably burnt them up the same way Yuki Tsunoda has, because everyone does in these first couple of laps. So, okay, he has actually fallen back into the range. I think he just decided to stop pushing a little bit later than Yuki did. So Yuki will have DRS now. ERS, sorry. Yeah, no, DRS, yeah. And he's got a little bit of ERS as well. So if you can get Gasly into this first corner, problem solved, job done. Gets the confidence up. It's important to get Gasly, because hopefully then the 2 behind get Gasly. And therefore, when they take Yuki Tsunoda, he's only going to lose 1 overtakes worth of confidence net. So if Pierre could hold up the ones behind, that would be superb. But instead, he's actually just holding on. Full stop. Albon staying within range of De Vries, so you could probably get him. I kind of hoped that Perez and Sainz were going to put more pressure on Gasly than Gasly was going to put on Tsunoda there, because it looks like he's going to fight back here. Although the DRS is not helping him as much as it did. Oh, I mean, we do have sensational DRS in fairness. Tyre temps are nearly back down again. Could be worthwhile just bringing the tyre temps down during this section if we can. And then we can attack the tyre during this section. Yeah, so Gasly's struggling there to make inroads. Yuki also gets the confidence of a good defend as well, for the good measure as well, which is nice. So Yuki Tsunoda's getting the also benefits of good defending, as Gasly's actually given up, I think. He's decided to take everything off at this point. He's dropped well out. I think he was going for it there. So we'll take Yuki Tsunoda's fuel off. Albon has lost De Vries, so we'll take his fuel off as well for good measure. In fact, Sainz has taken Gasly. Both Sainz and Perez have taken Gasly. We won't fight this when they inevitably get caught up. I don't know what rarely defend does in regards to lap time, but we'll not incite accidents here. I know always defend causes lap times to come down. Oh, go up, I should say. Take longer is what I mean. The tyre temp's nice and back in the window. Just let Sainz through. No worries, no worries there, Carlos. Off you go. Through you go, sunshine. We're not gonna cause an accident. We'll watch the replay. These two not too far ahead actually. Gasly's already back there with Leclerc for company. So Leclerc did get Russell. As hoped, Russell has held up Leclerc for a little bit. So it's not like basically an immediate train of confidence losses. You can see there as well, look. Confidence still above average, even though he's just lost a position there. And he'll probably just go under that once Perez gets through. We're going to try and follow Perez if we can. Now, ideally, what I'd like is Perez to come through here before the checkpoint, but never mind. We'll try and see if we can... Oh, there's an incident. That's concerning. Nick! Nick has murdered Alex. Wait, Albon must have caught VRIES. Oh, hang on. I can see where this is. Has he come off the track and then just driven straight into him? Because I don't think Alex was on his back. Oh, these are 66. Do we go for an early pit stop and then go more aggressive? Is the argument here for Yuki Tsunoda, isn't it? Because bear in mind, of course, this is a... I say go more aggressive. It's not really that much more, is it? But it would allow us to do this effectively. Or do it the other way around with a medium. Be about the same. Apparently, that would be faster. 122.14 with a medium than a hard. And you can go more aggressive on them, on average. I think it feels sensible to go on a medium now, because then you can go either way at the end of it. And again, if there's another incident here, you can just go hard to the end. We're going to risk it on Yuki Tsunoda's home Grand Prix there. He's down to 6th already. Leclerc was coming through it regardless. My only concern is the fact that if nobody else pits, he's going to go end up at the very back. I think Albon might be out here. He might be able to get going. It's major chassis, though. DeVries got the penalty. It is his fault. What he's done is he's taken his vengeance. Yes, he's gone wide on turn 1 and then come straight back in, I think. No, he's actually crashed into his teammate, then come back on track, and I can't see what happened, but it looks like he was going so slowly, Alex Albon just drove into him. So he's actually destroyed 2 teams' hopes there. Sargent's broken front wing there. Nick DeVries actually just picked up a 5-second penalty there, so I think he got penalised for both of the crashes, which makes sense, but he's also out. Now, Albon wasn't in the points, let's be real, but my main concern there is he's damaged the engine parts that I've just put in, and Nick DeVries has cost us another engine. Everyone's come in. Everyone has come in. It was the right call. I'm intrigued to see what tyres they go in. Even medium runners have come in. Well, that one's gone on a medium. There's a hard back there. I think there's a hard on the... literally everyone has come in. Some people have double stacked. I don't know what's happened, but it's cost Sainz badly. Because Yuki's come out in 4th, ahead of Perez and Sainz again, which is not helpful for the confidence because it doesn't gain Yuki any confidence, that. But so it's a, I say checkerboard, it's a pattern actually. Medium, medium, hard, medium, medium, hard, medium, medium, hard, hard, medium, 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 medium. What's happened to Alonso here? Hard, medium, hard. And then he had a front wing change, I assume, as well with Sargent. But of course, this is going to be under a safety car, so there's going to be a little bit more there, isn't there? Safety car might even just come in straight away here because everyone pitted. No, it goes 1 more lap. That's fine. But Yuki's 4th with a hard runner in front of him. For some unexplainable reason, we've gone 2 laps there under a safety car when everyone's caught up. Right, there we go. We're over on fuel now. We're over on fuel. 1 lap under, I went to -3 kilograms just driving on the beginning. And by lap 12, because of a safety car, we're now plus 0.7. We've gained 4 kilograms of fuel through the safety car, pretty much. So let's deal with Lance Stroll then as quickly as possible. I can't believe Albon got assassinated. Why does this always happen? Why is the driver that we ditched the one that still somehow cost us money when he's not even driving for us? It happened with Stroll all the time in the Aston Martin save, is that for some reason he would be always the one that just destroyed our vehicles, just drove into us willy-nilly. And now DeVries has actually broken Yuki Tsunoda's car previously as well in Silverstone, and I'm pretty certain he did it in Hungary as well. And now in Japan, he's just straight up assassinated Alexander Albon. He wasn't even fighting him at the time. He just come back on track and decided to be a moving roadblock. That's it, Yuki. You get some good sectors in. Now, of course, Yuki's going to be hounded here, but provided you can stay ahead of, Perez and Sainz before DRS happens, we might be in a good position here. My only concern is that Hamilton is further away from Verstappen than Stroll is from Hamilton, which makes no sense because Stroll's on hard tyres. Perez is getting feisty. DRS doesn't happen until next lap. Although, nope, Yuki had a look. Fastest lap to Verstappen. Who took Alex out last time? Was it himself? I can't remember if it was himself or someone else. I just need Yuki to stay in DRS of Stroll here. I'm burning the tyres a little bit. I don't know if everyone else has come off theirs. No, we're okay, actually. Because our DRS is good, so as long as we're in the DRS section, we should be fine. Use that to get closed up onto Lance Stroll. Probably not enough to make a move on this lap, but turn 3/10 into turn 6 or 7/10 into 3/10 there. We lose it probably basically immediately. But how long are these guys still pushing on their? They're still pushing their tires because they're the same as us now. I feel like we might need to let Perez through here. And don't forget, this stint is designed to be on full push to begin with. Still in DRS by lap, well, the next lap anyway. 17 overall, and we home in. You see how good our DRS is. Like Perez with his own DRS doesn't get anywhere. We build the gap to Perez every time that happens. I think people have stopped pushing their tyres now. I think we'll let Perez maybe now. We are still on rarely defend, I'm pretty certain as well. Why does Yuki look like he's on fire? Oh no, that was just the boards behind his Ocon that's crashed. And Piastri? One of them's got going again. This could just be a VSC or a yellow flag. No, they both got going. It'll just be a yellow flag. Just a clock on the corner. Yep. Oh, nearly collected Alonso. That'd have been not good for Alonso if he'd been taken out by Piastri. Ocon. So I think that's just a yellow flag. Everyone's got going again. I think the crucial thing here is Lance Stroll has stopped pushing. So now we're challenging him more. It's not the fact that we've stopped pushing. It's like he stopped pushing relative to us. So because we're still pushing probably a little bit more than he is. So now we might be able to get Lance Stroll if we do something that looks like overtaking would be great. Fortunately, there's not really much need to watch the rest of the lap. It's the only important bit is here. And he's on the inside. He's on the inside. Still neck and neck through the S's. Is Yuki going to make it stick? He said he's overtaken him. He's overtaken him. Is that P3? That's P3. That's a podium, isn't it? There's only Hamilton and Verstappen ahead. I must say, the properly fast cars aren't... I mean, I know we're on mediums, but the properly fast cars aren't really there yet. I think Stroll got feisty for a bit there, then kind of gave up a bit. Although he's coming back again. Yuki's confidence is very good. We're fighting Stroll again. I mean, I don't really want to watch the replay just yet because I don't think Stroll's made it stick. Yuki might have to yield through here, but I might actually. I don't know if this is the better line because then you've got the inside for the hairpin. Stay behind Yuki, I think, is probably the sensible thing because then you just get him next time. Remarkably, it's taken till lap 26 for Sergio Perez to overtake Yuki Tsunoda, who has fallen off Lance Stroll now. But we're not far off Hamilton, all things considered, in second still. Two Ferraris fighting behind. So Yuki is in 6th, sadly, now, but... No, 5th. I don't know. Oh, because Perez was in 5th, that's why. Perez was in 5th, that's why I was saying 5th. Now he's 4th. It's still very close to Hamilton. If we can get an undercut or something going... But I suspect the Ferraris are going to come through now. We're really fighting for 7th, all things considered. If we can hold on to any of them. And not too much later, he's actually not done it in the DRS. He's done it at the airpin, I think. Where is that? Oh, 130R. The spoon before 130R. Which is actually going to give Yuki the DRS here. I think we might have been a little late to that replay because he's now, more than a second off. We're 29. Lap 29. I think he still had DRS on that lap, technically. No, he didn't. So this is the optimal lap to pit, apparently, but we're still on 49% tyres. How's everyone else doing? 50%? We need a bit of ERS, I think. So we might as well... Now we're not in any DRS. Russell's not really gaining. I mean, he is a little bit, but we've got that buffer. Alonso's up to 9th. Maybe we're not fighting for 7th. Well, we are fighting for 7th, but it's with Russell and Alonso as they... Well, Alonso in particular as he comes back through. Alonso's in 9th now. He's fought his way through, so our fight really is for 7th. It's just whether it's Russell and Alonso who join this party. Now, we've got to this lap, so trying to work out what lap this is actually going to... We're not too far off, basically. We're at 41% now. We basically need to go in the next 3 laps there or thereabouts. So it's neither absolute 5-push stint there, or it's 3 on mediums. 3 on soft, sorry. I mean, the data says go all out on hards, but what's the pit window? 14th. It says 23, 25. To leader, 25, 34 seconds. It's actually 12th. It's ahead of Magnussen. I think if we get a good pit stop, we come out there. Gasly's nowhere all of a sudden as well. Just noticed that. He's in 11th. He's on hards. Can they get to the end of the race? Probably not. I think we're looking next lap for Yuki Tsunoda. We'll see if anyone pits, of course. Verstappen's... Oh, has Hamilton pitted? No, I think he's just fallen to 5th for some reason. All right, so no one's pitting on this lap. Yuki Tsunoda's at a 134.1. Max is doing 133.6 is my concern there. Sainz is pitted. My concern... Oh, no, that's 15 seconds to Magnussen. Sorry, it is Bottas, 45 seconds. He's right on the cusp, and I think you'll come out ahead of him behind Ocon. I think we'll stay going next lap, but we're absolutely going to go for it. Get some good sector times in. Bottas is still going slower, I think, so having more of a cushion to Bottas is probably going to be nice there. Ocon's still not pitted either. Well, actually, we don't know because they're yet to do anything, but 2 seconds. Time in pit sees them come out behind Ocon. Probably closer to Ocon than I would have liked, actually, realistically. Maybe just far enough behind that he can get a lap or 2 in without too much fuss. Immediate yellow flags, as I think Leclerc's binned it. I think this weirdly is only going to be yellow flag. It's not called a safety car of any kind. I think this is what Alex did, by the way. I didn't see it, but I have to assume this is what Alex did to have destroyed the front wing. It's the most logical thing. It's not called any kind of safety car, which is the weirdest part. Because he's got going again. What's that front wing made of? It's still mostly there. But that's Leclerc out of that race. And Yuki's actually not gained on them lot ahead. Probably because he's on cold tyres, but Leclerc and Ocon now pit, which is perfect for Yuki Tsunoda, actually. As does Magnussen. So all the people he was getting vaguely close to and doing fastest sectors as well now, Yuki Tsunoda, for himself. Yuki Tsunoda is now within 26 seconds of the leader. That can't be right. Oh, because Verstappen's pitted. And now there's a safety car. It's Magnussen and Joe. Everyone gets a free pit. Oh, if you could only taken out the Ferrari, that would have been much better. But Kevin! I mean, it gets us bunched back up again, I guess. But Yuki doesn't pit. Comes out 8th. We've lost out there to both Russell and Alonso because they managed to pit under the safety car. Or did they bother? No, they did. They come out on softs as well. Yuki's been royally mugged off there. In his home race as well. Good news is he can utterly slam these for the remainder of the race. And probably the fuel for that matter. Because bear in mind, I actually pushed him to 1.5 under again. And he's now back up to 2.5 plus. So the safety cars get you 4 kilograms here, basically. I think he was back up to like just under 1 under, but at least the tyres are in a warm window because they were boiling to begin with. But I don't think I need to take them off aggressive now for the rest of this race. Sainz and Leclerc are on mediums. Verstappen maintains the lead despite pitting before the safety car. So clearly still had enough in hand on Perez that safety car benefit did not provide him with much, as yeah, Yuki Tsunoda's going to be swapped in these early stages. I mean, he's doing all right to Gasly there. Leclerc in 11th concerns me. There's still a good chance of points here because I think they're going to obliterate these soft tyres quite quickly. Yeah, I mean, some of them are at 80% softs already, and I'm on hard, so they're going to be dead by the end of this race. Meanwhile, he's going to be still pushing his hards, but they're doing 130s and Yuki's doing 133s, which is the problem. So Yuki's just got to fend as much of this off during the attacking period for them as possible. If he can hold people behind until they decide to stop going for it. Same deal with Russell, really, because Russell has been taken by Alonso, and Russell's car doesn't really work at this point. So we're out of ERS. So we might have to use Gasly as a tow, or immediately lose Gasly as well. You know, one or the other. I mean, Yuki's doing 132 sixes there. 132 flat, in fact, so he's not going that much slower. In fact, he's now pulled away from Hülkenberg behind, who's at 50% soft. So whilst Gasly's run away, there's only 5 laps of this race left, and we are still on 64% hard. So I think we can close right back up again. Russell's now 8th as well. He's been left by Gasly. I think we can catch Russell. Although now we're being hounded by Leclerc, which is the issue. Oh, I can't push the fuel anymore. 2 laps to go. We're in Russell's DRS. It doesn't really matter that we're overheating. We're not overheating by much, actually, to be fair. If we can be behind by the detection point, that would be sensational here. And we are. Use everything on this main straight here, Yuki. Get him. Get 8th again. You deserve some points. Gasly's got away with that. And crucially, we've burdened Leclerc with Russell now as well. I didn't show that replay, but it's still going to be some solid points, I think, here for Yuki Tsunoda in his home race. Pretty much everyone just about got away with softs there, but obviously at the point where I was, it wasn't worth pitting again for softs. Unfortunate timing with that second safety car, really. Can't really do much about it. I don't really know how to feel about that. It is more points, but unlucky with the safety car, I guess. Still, I think we're wrong for a 7th if the safety car didn't come out, but it is what it is. We got 8th, it's only 1 place behind, it's 2 points. And, of course, the assassination, which is probably the biggest concern of all there. But yeah, most importantly, Charles Leclerc, the nearest challenger to Max Verstappen, getting 1 point when he gets 25. A costly mistake from Charles Leclerc, as Pierre Gasly, who's on a 5-runner form actually, gets another 6 points, gets his teammate in the process. Yuki Tsunoda takes Kevin Magnussen to finally split up a 2x2 down here. Kevin Magnussen, by the way, with his 4th DNF of the season, even though it says 0 on the right-hand side, which you can't see behind my head regardless. Valtteri Bottas gets a better result than Logan Sargent on countback, so he goes 17th, but still 4 drivers with 0 points. We get another 4 to really make too much in the road on Haas, but we are getting there slowly. And unfortunately, once again, Albon doesn't get to his first pit stop, so we are mugged off on that respect as well in the fastest pit stops. Still closing on Mercedes, who didn't score at all there, actually, so it looks like we could get both of them by the end. The biggest concern, of course, that's all well and good, but we've broken 2 this weekend. All right, so we need definitely more front wings and we need more chassis again. As soon as I build one, they break one. It's remarkable. Crucially, they haven't damaged any engine parts. That was the main concern. Maybe the gearbox is down a little bit, but it was already the second best one anyway. And the engine was already, I think, basically the same. They were 2 basically on 75, I think. So they may have taken a couple of % off both of those. But most crucially, the ERS, which was brand new, hasn't been hurt. Again, it might be a couple of % because it should have been 100%. So it does look like we need to build a few car parts just to replace broken ones. But we should be okay on that front. Still 15 million cost cap wise after building those manufacturers, but that's basically the reason we've kept 15 million for these last batch of races, is in case there's stuff like that where you have to keep building car parts because people keep crashing. But hopefully that's got it out of Alex's system. I say he's at fault there, but I genuinely can't remember if he was the one at fault for the Monza DNF or not. I don't think he was. It was Magnussen that did that one, wasn't it? So, oh no, it was Lance Stroll who just drove into the back of him. I remember now. Just because Magnussen DNF'd in Monza as well, it made me think it was him, but that was I think that was with Piastri. It was Lance Stroll who just decided to drive into the back of him randomly. So yeah, he's been assassinated twice in three races really, has Alexander Albon there, and cost us engine parts, particularly in that one. But thankfully got out of this one a little bit more unscathed. It's more just aerodynamic parts that was the problem there. But that sees us done with Japan. It's a new racetrack, but it wasn't in last year's game at least. Qatar's back, and it is round 18 this year, and it's a sprint race, so all go next time out for Qatar. But if you enjoyed this episode, do like, comment, and subscribe. You know the deal by now. Until next time, thank you for watching. Ta-ra.